Challenge is a competition that goes over 3 months. More than 1,000 teams across the country, and even from other countries, participate and compete to bring home the title of Grand Champion.
That's why the mood feels so electric today. Everyone's geared up to win.
Ding, 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 that is correct. Today's finals take place between the top 4 teams who have read 30 books and will be bringing with them a treasure trove of knowledge, information, facts, and most importantly, stories.
In the reading challenge, the participants will be asked questions about small details in books as well as larger themes and ideas. But every question counts. It's really more than I can handle.
You know, that makes 2 of us. In fact, it's more than most of us can handle. So let's have a huge round of applause for all the teams for making it to the finals today.
Today, we have the top 4 teams coming from different parts of India. Let's join us in welcoming them on stage. The first team is called #Bookworms. They're from the One World International School, Bangalore.
Can we have you
guys
up on stage? Our next team is the Reading Racers from Shiv Nadar School, Faridabad.
The third team is Team Bookivores from the schools DPS RK Puram and Step by Step School from Delhi.
And our final team for today is the JNS Rapid Readers from Jamnabai Narsi School, Mumbai.
Is everyone feeling good today? Are all of you excited? Are all of you prepared to win? Yes. Well, I mean, you heard it here first. Just come back next year and we'll give you more insightful insights like these.
Okay. So the Reading Challenge has brought so many students together from different schools and different cities. In fact, it's not just a competition. It's a celebration of reading and our young readers.
We're really excited to see these finals with all of you. A huge round of applause for all the teams. We hope you guys have fun regardless of the outcomes. All of you are going to do really well, okay? Good luck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our quiz master, Sachin Ravi.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all of you here present. It's amazing to be here at the Neev Literature Festival. This is our 3rd time around here as the quizzing partner or the curiosity partner here at the Reading Challenge, and we're very, very excited to be here at the grand finale of the Reading Challenge. We see a lot of exciting young faces, parents, teachers, mentors, all folks present here. I see a lot of grandparents as well. So it's amazing to see all of you here. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of you present here today for being part of the Reading Challenge, the grand finale here at the Neev Literature Festival. And that said, now to set some context in terms of why we're here, of course, this is the 5th edition of the Reading Challenge that's been happening. The Literature Festival has been happening for 9 years. And us at Q-Shala, we've been associated with the Reading Challenge for the last 3 years. So we're very, very excited to be here first and foremost. Second, to set some context, right? So we've had children from across the world participate in the Reading Challenge across 2 tracks. So you have something called the competitive track and then you have the non-competitive track. Across both these tracks, we've had 3,000 plus children participate, read these books. So what have they been doing? They've been going through these 30 books over a 3-month period. And these books are across a variety of topics. Just incredible the kind of breadth and the variety of content that these children are being exposed to. But that said, they also have a reading guide which they go through. They discuss the book with their friends. Then they have author interactions where they get to speak to the authors directly to understand what the author was thinking, just like how we had Masira Nandani, right, so just before this session as well. So that's it. All of this together culminates today here at the grand finale of the Reading Challenge. So in the competitive track, we had nearly 400 plus schools participate, 600 plus teams that first signed up. We had multiple selection rounds. We had a qualifier, we had a semi-final. From those 400 teams, we became 44. 44 became 4, and these are the 4 best teams that I'm going to be calling up on stage. So without further ado, let's invite our finalists that we have today at the grand finale of the Literature Festival. The first team on stage, ladies and gentlemen, we need a lot of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the first team, #Bookworms. One Word International School from Sarjapur, Bengaluru. Can we have you on stage, please? Where are you guys? Oh, you're already there. Fantastic. They're so quick. They got to the stage before I could even see them. Round of applause to this team, everybody. The first team on stage. Hashtag Bookworms from Bengaluru. So this is Nirbhay Singh Chauhan, Adyant Singh Chauhan, and Natalia Jijo. They are the members of the first team qualifying to the grand finale here. Let me invite the second team, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Reading Racers from Shiv Nadar, Faridabad. Subir Joshi, Kabir Jam, and Yuvan Sopti. These, of course, a round of applause, guys. Come on. This is the second team here qualifying. From 600 teams, this is no feat at all. They are the best of the best that we have. Well done. Welcome to the stage, guys. Lovely to have you here. Next team on stage, ladies and gentlemen, team number 3 is a representative from One Up Library, a combo of DPS, RK Puram and Step Up School. Team Bukavos, Leela Iyer, Navya Uppal and Ayansh Gupta. Welcome to the finals, guys. And the last team here at the grand finale of the NEET Literature Festival Reading Challenge is JNS Rapid Readers. Jamnabai Narsi School from Mumbai, Samara Raval, Dean Piradina and Kian D'Souza. So these are the grand finale participants, so the finalists that we have today here at the quiz. Guys, we need to have one solid applause for these 4 teams. They've done so much work, so much reading, so much of effort, investment, going through these books cover to cover. Of course, with the support of mentors, parents, teachers who made all of this possible. So in our eyes, they're already winners. Everybody here is a winner already. So now it's just to have a little more fun, a little more excitement to see how they've read these books. They're all winners. They get the same kind of prizes. But this is just one sort of spectacle that we have. We thought we'll see how much these books have meant to these children and how we can go from here. All right? So like I said, we're Kushala. My name is Sachin. I'm going to be your host for today. I'm very, very excited to be here to be back here again for the 3rd time. Now, of course, every year at the Literature Festival, at the Reading Challenge, we try to come up with different rounds. So the first brief or mandate that we have after every year is we take learnings, we see, hey, what worked, what could have been done better. But one thing is a constant mandate for us is how can we differentiate and make every year the grand finale even more interesting, even more fun, and different rounds that we can think of and cook up, all right? So in terms of what's on the menu for you amazing teams, so we have 5 rounds similar to what we have. And the first round that we have is known as the theme card round. So if you've heard of Jeopardy, Jeopardy is a very, very popular TV show. So inspired by Jeopardy, effectively you have 4 themes, and these 4 themes are in a cart. And in a cart you have 3 questions, all right? And each of these questions are of difficulty order. And you'll have to choose the question, then you'll have to get it right, etc. There's passing. We'll explain the details of those rules much more in detail later. But that's the first round that we have. The second round that we have is known as Straight from the Author. See, you have such amazing authors, amazing books. Instead of me only asking the questions, why don't we have the authors ask the children the questions directly? So we've had a lot of effort put in the back end to make this happen. Authors have worked painstakingly with our back end team from NLF, and they've gone ahead and created questions with the author. So I think this is something that's for the first time that we're introducing here. So straight from the author, questions directly from the author that we have. The third round that we have is a crossword. Every lover of books and words loves a good crossword. So we thought we'll introduce a crossword this time around. How it works, I'll explain it to you. Don't worry about it. It's my job to make sure you guys know what needs to be done, and I'll explain it in due course. The fourth round that we have is the taboo round that we're introducing for the first time. So you guys are going to be playing and having fun on stage, playing a round of taboo. And you know how taboo works. If you don't, I'll explain it regardless. And the last round is the OG round that you have in every literature festival grand finale, is the rapid fire round. It's on the buzzer. 8 questions, lot of drama sometimes, but all of that happens here at the grand finale of the reading challenge that we have. That said, let's go on and see what we have on the next slide. We have, before we jump into the finals for the teams, we thought we'll do a question to start off with everybody present here. It's lovely to see all of you present here on a Sunday morning. So the first question of the quiz is for the audience that we have. So the drill is very simple. You see the question on your screen. Raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Over the course of time, I'll make sure I'm going in a slightly democratic manner and making sure every section of the audience gets a chance. So here's the first question of the quiz, starting off with an audience question that we have. Here it is. So this memoir released in India last month focuses on the renowned author's troubled relationship with her parent, who was an educator and a women's right activist. The title of the memoir is a phrase from the first line of the Beatles song, Let It Be. So I need you to tell me the name of the author and the name of the book as well. I see a lot of hands going for this one. So let's ask ma'am, she's raised her hand. Can we have a mic if it could go to her, please? If someone from our team could go over with the mic if it's possible. Otherwise, I'll go to her. It's no problem at all. So if you can tell me, ma'am, introduce yourself if it's possible and tell us what you think the answer is. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead on the mic.
My name is Sneha. I'm the lead reading specialist for Neve. It's Arundhati Roy, Mother Mary Comes to Me.
Fantastic answer, lovely answer. Let's look at the answers like this, of course, is Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. So let's play a bit of an audio as well.
Trouble, Mother Mary comes to
Thought it's an
me.
appropriate question to just set the mood. Let's have fun. Let's entertain ourselves. That, of course, was the first question. With that, let's go on to the next slide and see what we have. So, folks, now this is the proceedings for all of you here on stage. Team Hashtag, Team Reading Racers, Team Book Wars, and Rapid Readers. So if you guys have any doubts through the course of the quiz, please ask me. I'm going to be more than happy to clarify it. Second, please make sure you're drinking water. Just hydrate yourself. Don't get too tensed. Ultimately, this is a quiz. It is a grand finale, but we want you to have fun. Nothing is that serious, all right? So make sure you're on your best game, but make sure you're having fun as well. So take a break. If you need to kind of get your positions right, say a prayer, whatever it is, all of that is fine. Right? But before we start off with the first round, guys, one more applause for these finalists, please. These are our best teams that we have here today. So, guys, the first round, let's have a look at the rules. So, it seems like a lot of text, but I'll explain it very simply. Okay? So, you got 12 questions, and these 12 questions are split across 4 themes. And each of these theme cards have 3 questions each. So, one question's for 30, another's for 20, and then 10. So, the assumption here is that what is for plus 30 is a little more difficult, plus 20 is slightly less difficult, plus 10 is relatively the easiest amongst all of them, all right? So firstly, there's no negative marking. So don't worry about whether will I get it wrong if I hit a buzzer, nothing of that nature. We just want you to take a guess. The only thing here is if you have a certain theme, we'll go clockwise for the first 4 attempts. We'll go anti-clockwise for the next 4 attempts. So every one of you will get 2 questions directly, but these questions pass as well, right? They pass for the same number of points. We'll go clockwise and anti-clockwise for the passing. You'll understand it as and when we play it. But the only thing to keep in mind here is that since there's no negative marking and there's a lot of points you can gather, ultimately the team with the highest score wins the quiz. So you need to strategically think, okay, which question, what difficulty should I go for? Should I go for the easier one? Should I go for the tougher one? That's the strategy that you guys need to play as a team, okay? So think about it. I will, of course, reveal to you what the themes are or the cards are. Let's have a look at that on the next slide. And before that, yeah, let's get started. Here it is. So this is the theme card that we have. So you've broadly got 4 themes. You've got one card which goes by words and meanings. Then you've got one which goes by artists. Then you've got epigraphs. And then you've got ships and boats. So to clarify, what is an epigraph? An epigraph is a phrase, a sentence, or a quote that is mentioned at the beginning of a book, all right? It has some relation to why it's mentioned there. So that's what an epigraph is. Just clarifying that in case you didn't know it, I'm fairly certain you probably do. But just something to clarify. So what you need to do now, we'll start with team 1, which is team hashtag bookworms, then go to 2, 3, and 4. So team 1, hashtag bookworms, you will choose which question difficulty or how many points you want for a question and which theme that you want. In case you get it right, that's fantastic. If you don't, we'll pass to team 2, team 3, team 4. And then after that, team 2, you can pick yours. We'll go on a circular order. After all 4 of you are done, we'll then go anti-clockwise starting with 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, can we get started, guys? Fantastic. So team number 1, team hashtag bookworms from Bengaluru, which theme and which question would you like to choose? They're going to choose artists. Okay, let's just have the mic switched on if possible for the teams, please. So they choose artists. Okay, and which difficulty would you prefer?
20.
20. Okay, guys, applause for them. They're choosing 20. They're not going too difficult, not too easy. They're going to see and get a sense of how the questions are and then decide, because you can still pass this. You have another attempt later as well. So the first question, of course, going to hashtag bookworms from Bengaluru for 20 points from the category of artists, appearing on your screen now. So identify the artist who created these illustrations for a book featured in the 2025 Neve Literature Festival Reading Challenge. So that's the first question that we have from the category of artists. So team one, what do you guys think this is?
Prakash Miranda.
Prakash Miranda. Which book do you think this is?
Amal and the After.
Amal and After. We in fact had a session with the author before this. Fantastic answer. Very well done to team one. Already opening their account, Amal and After. A companion book, of course, written by Miss Veera. So Prashant Miranda, it's amazing that you know these things. Again, let me also give you a very big disclaimer, teams. These teams have spent 3 months reading these books. I've spent 2 evenings reading these books, okay, or getting a summary of these books. These teams know much more than I possibly ever will know. So they know more than me, and it's our job to of course, acknowledge these teams. Can we have one more applause for these guys here? Amazing, amazing answering. So that's the first question. Well done to you guys. You got a sense of how this works. Fantastic. Now we're going to go to team 2, reading racers from Shiv Nadar, Faridabad. So what do you guys pick, guys? On the mic, they're discussing, they're doing their machinations, they're discussing what works. Hey, go for it, man. I know what it is. Yeah, what do you guys think? Words and meanings. For 20 points. Fantastic, guys. So, okay, Shiv Nadar School from Faridabad. They've chosen words and meanings for plus 20. So let's have a look at the question appearing on your screen now. So in China, notes that there is a big word, a bad word that is almost like a swear word for his Omma. It means to send someone back to their country even if they do not want to go. So what's the good word, or what is this word that we're talking about that means to send someone back to their country even if they do not want to go? On the mic, Team 2, Shiv Nadar, what do you guys think this is, racers? Repatriate is a fantastic answer, guys. These teams are cleaning up these questions. Repatriate is absolutely right. Plus 20. Again, to team 2, all teams so far have opened their accounts. Very, very well done. Fantastic answer, reading racers. So team 3, Team Bookawars from One Up Library. You guys now know the drill. 2 teams have chosen already. What is your preference in this round for this category? Artist for 30 points, everybody. They've gone ahead and said, hey, let's do 30 now. We need to make a differentiating for ourselves. So they've chosen plus 30 artist. Let's have a look for the question appearing on your screen now. During our author interaction, when asked about the real-life inspiration behind the character HF Bottom Tow, Jasmine Vaga shared the name of a famous American painter. This painter has a museum dedicated to her in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which Vaga visited while she was working on A Strange Thing Happened in Cherry Hill. Who is this painter? We'll go to the next slide just for context. This, of course, are the paintings or the artworks by this incredible personality. Amazing pieces of art, if you ask me. Let's go back to the question text one slide. So this personality on the right is the painter we need you to identify. Team 3, Team Bookawars from One Up. What do you guys think is the answer?
Donna Starter.
Sorry?
Donna Starter.
Donna
Starter.
I don't think that's the answer. In fact, that's not the answer we're looking for. Great attempt, Team 3. You can go on the mic. There's no negative marking, so take a guess. Mumbai, Jamnabai Narsi.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
That is an amazing answer, ladies and gentlemen. For a team in grades 5 and 6 to know who Georgia O'Keeffe is nothing short of incredible. Let's have a look at this video and see what we have as the answer. Have a look, guys.
About inspirations. This is from Yana Narayanan from Vidya Shilp School, Bangalore. And she asks, is H.F. Bottom Tow inspired by a real person, perhaps a real artist?
You know, she's kind of an amalgamation. One of my favorite artists is Georgia O'Keeffe. And when I was working on the book, I was lucky enough to visit the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum in Santa Fe, New Mexico, here in the United States, which Georgia O'Keeffe spent a big chunk of her career in the American Southwest. And so her kind of, the big museum that's kind of an, I guess, houses a lot of her works is there in Santa Fe. And she said lots of really interesting things about art. So one of her famous quotes is she says that art isn't about replicating something, it's about trying to get somebody else to have a feeling. So it's like, if you're drawing a tree, you're not trying to perfectly capture that tree. What you're trying to do is get somebody else to see the tree the way that you see the tree, to feel the feeling that you feel when you see the tree. And I think that's a beautiful way to think about art. It's the way that So
guys, that's a plus 30 for Team 4. Round of applause for them. They've opened their account with the entire 30 points. Of course, there was a question meant for Team Book Awards. Hard luck, but that's no problem. There's a lot more questions coming your way. So you have another attempt for this round also. Now let's go to Team 4, JNS Rapid Readers. What is your preference, guys? What would you prefer? Which theme and which question would you prefer?
Word meanings, 30 points.
30 points, words and meanings, guys. They're going for another plus 30. The question appearing on your screen now. So according to Ferris's mother, the weakness or vulnerability of all the Wilkies is that they have an appetite for the unexpected. Instead of the words weakness or vulnerability, Ferris's mother uses a two-word phrase which Ferris has learned from Mrs. Milk. What is this two-word phrase which has its origins in Greek mythology? Team number 4 on the mic, Jamna Bai, what do you think is the two-word phrase in question?
Achilles heel.
Fantastic answer, incredible. Almost invincible, almost like Achilles. So this, of course, is Achilles' heel, and that's, of course, a painting. The mother dipping the baby in the river Styx and making the baby almost invincible apart from the heel. Guys, can we give a round of applause for that team? That's such an amazing answer. Georgia O'Keeffe and Achilles' heel are things that when I was in 6th grade, I had absolutely no idea how these teams know it and how they're prepared. Again, a testament to how incredible all of these teams are. That said, let's go back to the theme card slide in 1 second. We'll go to the theme card slide, and here it is. So guys, we're going to again go with you guys. So this is going to go anti-clockwise. So we'll start with this team. The questions also will pass anti-clockwise. So we'll go from 4 to 3 to 2 and 1. So team 4, again, what is your preference since you chose words and meanings for 30 earlier? What would you like to pick this time around?
Ships and boats, 20.
Ships and boats for 20 points. They're being a little conservative. 20 points is, again, no mean feat at all. But that said, question appearing on your screen now. So in Alex versus Axel, the Impossible Quests, what is the name of Captain McLaren's ship which takes Alex, Lorca, and Fetlock across emotion or the sea of feelings? So here is an image that we have on the next slide. Can we go to the image, please? Hold on, I'm just making sure I have the answer right as well. So that, I have it right. Just 1 second. All right, fantastic, great. So all right, team 4, this is your direct. You chose for 20 points from ships and boats. What is your answer, Jamna Bai?
The siren song.
Fantastic answer yet again. Another plus 20. 30, 30, 20. They've gotten themselves to 80 points already at this point in time in this round. That's very, very impressive work done by them. But that said, very early in the quiz, anything can really happen. Team 3, this is your chance now from One Up Library. What is your preference, guys? What would you prefer? This is your direct question now. Like I said, no negative marking. Pick what works for you. What would you guys like? On the mic, please have the mic switched on as well so that everybody in the audience can also hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Ships and boats for 30.
Fantastic. They're going for 30 points. They're taking a chance here. Hey, they're like, we need to catch up and make sure that we're staying in line with scores. So for plus 30, the first question that we had from the ships and boats category appearing on your screen now. So Mr. Merriman, the geography teacher in Noah's Gold, borrows the lighthouse keeper's boat to flee the island of Arran Ore with 6 gold bars. The boat derives its name from the sharp rocks on the island, which Noah and his friends refer to as the rocks like teeth. So what is this boat called? Let's have a look at the image on the next slide. So this, of course, is from the book directly. Now, I need you to tell me, Team 3, Team Book Wars, I'd like you to tell me what is the name of, let's go back to the question text, please. What is the book called? Team 3, One Up Library, what is your guess, guys?
The Scary War.
Fantastic answer. That's a plus 30 for them. They've gotten themselves a plus 30. This, of course, the rocks are shaped like skerries is what they are called. So that's why we have this. This, of course, is from Noah's Gold by Frank Cottrell Boyce. Wonderful answer. Round of applause, guys. That's a plus 30 for them as well. They've opened their account. Very well done to them. Let's go back to the theme card that we have. 2 more questions left here. So reading racers, which question and which category would you like to choose?
I had a question.
Go for it.
What is epigraphs?
Great question. I'll clarify. So an epigraph effectively means it is a text, a sentence, a phrase, or quote that is mentioned at the beginning of the book before the contents and the book starts off. So it's typically what you'd find at the start of a book, a sentence, a phrase, or a quote. That's what it means. What would you guys like to do, Shiv Nadar, Faridabad, reading racers?
We'll go for epigraph 20.
Fantastic. I love how you guys are discussing it. Keep it up, keep going. That's what we really want you to do. Work as a team, figure out the answers, keep the discussions going. So they've gone for epigraphs for plus 20. So the question appears on your screen now. When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. This epigraph, from the probability of everything, is a quote from the work of which famous author of detective fiction? So we need you to tell us who is the person who you can attribute this quote to. From, of course, the book, The Probability of Everything, that we thought we'll ask you. So this, of course, is for Shiv Nadar Faridabad. What is your guess, guys, on the mic? Take a guess. Again, there's no negative marking, so take a guess. You never know, you could be right for all you know. Go for it, guys. I think you should go for it. What do you guys think the answer is? Shiv Nadar Faridabad. On the mic, go for it. Guys, do you guys have a guess at all? Take a guess, there's no harm. There's no negative marking, so I urge you to take a guess. Come on. Other teams, please keep your guesses ready. So I'll give you guys a couple more seconds. If you don't know it, it's perfectly fine. If you want to take a guess, I would urge you to go for it. Yes, what do you think, Team 2? Reading racers. Otherwise, I will proceed to the team next to you. Go for it, yes.
Girolamo Cordano.
Not quite. That's not what I have as the answer. Good guess, though. I will pass to Team 1 from Bengaluru, team #bookworms. What do you guys have as a guess?
We're not sure. We'll say Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie, that's a very, very good guess. So we're going to go like this. So it goes from 3, 1, it goes from 4, then 3. It'll come to you guys after them. So let's ask rapid readers. They guessed Agatha Christie. So what is your guess, Jamna Bai from Mumbai? What is your guess that you'd like to take for this? Take a guess. There's no negative marking, so take a guess regardless.
Hercule Poirot.
Hercule Poirot is a good guess. I will have to pass now to Team 1UP Library. On the mic, what do you guys think is the answer?
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Incredible answer. Such a good job. This is Arthur Conan Doyle, of course, of the Sherlock Holmes series that you have. Many other lovely books that he's written. So Arthur Conan Doyle is the one who is attributed to this quote. Can we have a round of applause for Bookie Wars, guys? That is an amazing answer that we've gotten from them. Not easy at all. But they've gone for it and they've gotten themselves a plus 20. Well done. So scorers, it's a plus 20 for 1UP Library. With that, let's go back to the theme card slide. So we have the last question of this round left. So team hashtag, which question and theme would you like to go for? You guys can use the mic so that the audience can hear you as well. It's amazing. They're thinking, hey, what should we go for? What's a better chance? Should we go for epigraph? Should we go for the plus 10 question? We need to catch up on the scores as well. So a lot of discussion, strategy at play right now. It just tells you how incredible these teams are. Yes, on the mic, guys. Go for it.
We'll go for ships and boats.
Ships and boats for plus 10. All right. So the plus 10 question for ships and boats appearing on your screen now. Not a nightmare, nor yet a daydream, in between and half awake, a dusk slider, a twilight voyager, sailing the seam between worlds. This is Milo's father describing the ferryman's ship. What is the ship called?
The Evening Mare.
Fantastic answer, and that is a plus 10. An easy question, very quickly dispatched by team number 1. And with that, we go back to the theme card slide, and now we have 4 more questions left. Instead of us keeping these questions for ourselves, we thought we'll open this out to the audience. So we have a lot of audience prizes coming your way, folks. So the questions appear on your screen. Just raise your hand if you think you know the answer. We've got a couple of our volunteers going around with mics. And of course, we have amazing goodies and prizes for you if you get the answer right as well. So my only request to you is just raise your hand and we'll come to you. So so audience, which one would you like to pick? Which question? Okay, I can see one. Let's go with her. What did you say? Sorry. Artists. Okay. So she's picked artists for everybody for plus 10. Let's have a look. Audiences, just raise your hand if you know it. Here is the question that we have on your screen now. Name the illustrator who has worked with author Hannah Gold on all her books. So I can see one hand that went up instantaneously before anyone else. Let's ask her. If I'm not wrong, she is an earlier participant in the Literature Festival Reading Challenge Grand Finale as well. So on the mic, if you can introduce yourself and tell us what you think the answer is.
I'm Archana. I won the challenge with my team 2 years ago, and the answer is Levi Pinfold.
Fantastic. Let's have a look at the answer slide. Archana is absolutely right. This is Levi Pinfold. And of course, it's no easy feat. She, of course, is a winner of the Grand Finale as well. One more round of applause for her for the right answer, for getting this right as well. So this is Levi Pinfold we were seeking for plus 10. Next question, what would you guys like? Audience members, which question should we ask? Let's ask him, yes. Words and meanings for plus 10. Let's have a look and see what we have here. Appearing on your screen now. So after the Wilkie family finally lights their ancient, unused chandelier, a cloud of moths gathers around it. When Billy wonders about the word for a group of moths, Mrs. Mierk replies that it is a dash. Fill in the blanks with the collective noun for moths is the question that we have today. We have one hand. Yes, fantastic. Let's ask him on the mic. If you could introduce yourself, please.
My name is Kavish Patel and I'm in grade 5 IB and the
Fantastic.
answer is eclipse.
Kavish here thinks this is eclipse. Let's look at the answer slide and see what we have. Fantastic answer from Kavish. Absolutely right. An eclipse of moths is what we were seeking for. So, Kavish, which school are you in? Are you in Neve as well, Kavish? Which school are you in? Why don't you tell? Participating individually. All right, fantastic. And we have a round of applause for Kavish, guys. That was a wonderful answer that we have. So eclipse of moths is what we were seeking. We have 2 more questions left. So anybody wants to pick, it's from epigraphs that we have. So yes, what would you like to go for? Which one? Which question? 30 or 10? 30. Let's have a look at 30 and see what we have. Okay, appearing on your screen now. You've become responsible forever for what you have tamed. Ross Montgomery's I Am Rebel opens with this line from which famous work of literature, first published in English and in French in 1943. Arguably one of the most incredible books I've read. I love reading this book. It is an incredible book. I would highly urge all of you to read it as well. Tough question, as you can imagine, it's a plus 30. Any hands? Anyone wants to take a guess for this question? This is a book that, of course, was in French, but also available in English. No one going for it here in the audience at all? Yes, I can see a guess from you. Yes, what is your name?
Aro.
Arun? Aro. All right, Aro, what is your guess?
The Little Prince.
And which school do you study in? Which grade are you in?
7th.
And which school?
NPS HSR.
NPS HSR. Aro here thinks this is the Little Prince. Let's look at the answer slide. Incredible answer from Aro. This is the Little Prince, written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. The Little Prince is an amazing book. Though it's a children's book, I would urge all adults to read this book as well. It's very, very wonderful. Can we have a huge round of applause for Aro as well? That's a lovely answer from him. And the last question that we have in epigraphs for plus 10. This is the only question left, so let's have a look at it. Here it is, appearing on your screen now. Zembla, Zenda, Xanadu, all our dream worlds may come true. Fairy lands are fearsome too. As I wander far from you, read and bring me home to you. Which book featured in the reading challenge opens with this epigraph? Let me pick someone from the back if that's okay. I'll make sure I come to you. Yes, I can see his hand, young man. Yes, let's go have the mic come to you. And if you can tell us your name, introduce yourself, and what you think the answer is.
My name is Pasupati.
Okay.
And the answer is Fairylands.
Not quite. That's a good guess. Not quite that. Let's ask sir. Yes, sir, if you can tell us. Yes.
Yeah, it's Haroon and Sea of Stories.
Can we have a round of applause for this parent? If there's any evidence that the parents equally read all these books cover to cover and get a sense of things, this of course is Haroon and the Sea of Stories, written by none other than Salman Rushdie. A variety of books that go into the reading challenge. This is one such book, and well done to that parent for getting that answer right. So this is what we had. With that, let's have a look at what we have in the next slide. We have, of course, our scores that we'll reveal to you. We have an audience question before that as well. So audience question, while we have our scores being tabulated, a question dedicatedly for you guys yet again. Here it is appearing on your screen now. So T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's book of practical cats was adapted into a famous musical, of course, known as Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber in 1981. When the musical was made into a movie in 2019, an American pop star played the role of Bombalurina. I apologize. So who is this pop star in question? So I think ma'am here knows it. Let's ask her. Very enthusiastic she seems. So let's tell her. Ma'am, what do you think the answer is?
I think it's Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez is a very, very good guess. Not the guess. Taylor Swift is what she's saying. She's asking her kid there. I don't know who she is, but that is still the right answer. Can we have a round of applause for ma'am? This is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is always the right answer if you ask me in any context. But this is Taylor Swift that we were seeking. So well done. So this, of course, was very, very popular personality. We thought it's important to ask. With that, now we have our scores that we have tabulated after one round of quizzing. Let's have a look at the scores and see where our teams are. Really, really tense affair. Lots of questions, and this is the scoreboard at this point in time. We've got Reading Racers from Faridabad at 20, hashtag Bookworms from Bangalore at 30, Bookawars from Delhi on 50, and Rapid Readers at 80 from Mumbai, ladies and gentlemen. That is the scores that we have at this point in time. Very well done to all of you guys. So very early, don't worry, we have 4 more rounds of quizzing, so a lot more quizzing to happen. Let's get back to proceedings and see what we have in store for you for the next round that we have. So the second round, of course, let's begin with what we have. So this, of course, is straight from the author. Since we did one clockwise, one anti-clockwise, we'll go back to clockwise, starting with team 1 from hashtag Bookworms. So how this works, guys, is we have a video that our team from NLF has painstakingly worked with the authors. They've recorded questions directly from the author. You have to just look at the video. We'll show you the concurrent text as well. And you need to tell us what the author is asking you to identify. All right? There's no negative marking first and foremost. So it's just plus 10 on a right answer. There's no negative marking at all. So just take it easy. Very easy questions, in my opinion. At least looking at the way you guys have dispatched all the earlier questions. So team, hashtag, are you guys ready? Yes. Fantastic. The first question to team 1, hashtag Bookworms, appearing on your screen now.
Hello, I'm Alistair Chisholm, and I hope that you've been enjoying reading I Am Wolf as part of the 2025 NLF Reading Challenge. I have got a question for you. In the book, in a light-hearted moment, one of the characters, Bran, says about the other 2 characters, great, the annoying puppy has an annoying puppy. My question is, who are those 2 annoying puppies? And if it helps, I did mention in the author interaction session that these 2 were particularly fun to write. Good luck.
So hold on. Let me have a look at the question text as well. So this is, of course, author Alistair who talks about the book, that in a lighthearted moment, Bran says that this is about 2 other characters. Great, the annoying puppy has an annoying puppy. So who are these 2 annoying puppies? And the author did mention that he had a very fun time writing it as well. So give me the 2 names. Team 1 from hashtag, what do you think the answer is? On the mic, switch it on, yes.
Philan and Kevin.
Absolutely the right answer. Philan and Kevin the ant gets them a plus 10. Very, very well done. Alistair Chisholm's book that we were seeking a question and an answer from. Guys, round of applause for team 1. Plus 10 again, they've gotten themselves. With that, let's go back and see what we have next. So this, of course, team 2 from Reading Racers, Shiv Nadar, Faridabad. This is your question appearing on your screen. Now this, of course, is the video. Have a look at the video first. Here it is.
Hello, I'm Bijol Vachrajani, and I hope you enjoyed reading Go Wild for the 2025 NLF Reading Challenge. Here's your question from the book. In the essay, The Old Worn Palash Tree, Yuvan Aves uses a 3-word term to refer to the vast underground network of fungal filaments connecting trees to each other. What is this 3-word term which might remind you of a technology we access every day?
All right, so that, of course, was from Bijal. Let's have a look at the question text to concurrent this. So in an essay, The Old Worn Palash Tree, Yuvan Aves uses a 3-word term to refer to the vast underground network of fungal filaments connecting trees to each other. What is this 3-word term which might remind you of a technology we use every day? So I need the 3-word term specifically. Team Shiv Nadar, let's have a guess from you guys. On the mic, tell us, what is your guess? Other teams, you can keep your guesses ready. We'll come to you in just some time. Team 2, Reading Racers, what is your guess? On the mic, please. You can pass as well. There's no problem. Take a guess. If you know it, you know it. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. Yes, go for it, guys. They're taking a chance. They're thinking about it. No pressure, guys. Don't take it that seriously as well. That said, Shiv Nadar, do you have a guess? Otherwise, I will have to pass you guys. You have a guess? Okay, all right. I can't give you that much time also in the interest of other teams as well. You have another 5 seconds. You can tell us what you think. Okay, if that's okay, I'm going to pass you guys. No problem at all. There are a lot of questions coming your way. So we will pass. This is going to go to team 3 on the pass for same number of points, which is plus 10. So 1UP Library, what do you guys think this could be? What is this 3-word term that we're asking you to identify? On the mic, please tell us what you think this is. One up. Do you want to tell us? You can take a guess on the mic, otherwise you can pass as well, whatever's comfortable to you.
We're not sure.
Not sure, no problem. We can pass. There's no negative as well on the pass either. So JNS, rapid readers, do you want to take a guess and tell us what this could be? Use the mic if you do come up with an answer. They're not sure at the moment as well. I will take a pass if you guys don't have a guess. Can I pass, guys? Okay, passing. We'll go to team 1, hashtag bookworms from Bengaluru on the mic. Yes, what do you guys think? 3-word term we need you to identify. Yes.
Local train traveler.
Local tree traveler. That's
Train,
a very...
train.
Crane. Is that what you said? Local crane traveler. Not quite. That's a very, very good guess. This question, we're going to go to our friends in the audience for this one. It's just amazing how I see a lot of parents immediately raise their hands, which just tells you who really read these books, right? Of course, apart from the kids as well. Sir, I'll ask you if that's okay. On the mic, if you can tell us what you think this is.
I haven't read the books, but I'm just guessing World Wide Web.
So World Wide Web is the technology term that we were seeking, but there's a slight play. So the first word is a little different here. So this can be worked out, right? So if this has to do with underground network of trees, okay, let's ask him. He's raised his hand. Yes, what is your name?
I'm Anshul.
Anshul, which school are you from?
I'm homeschooled.
Your homeschool, fantastic. What is your guess, Anshul? What do you think is this 3-word term which inspires itself from World Wide Web?
Maybe it's the Worm Wide Web?
Worm Wide Web, that's a very, very good guess as well. Very innovative thinking. Not quite what I have, but I'd give points for creativity if nothing else. Let's ask Sir. He's raised his hand. Yes, you can use the mic, Sir.
Is it the Root Wide Web?
Root Wide Web, we're getting closer, but it has to, it's an alliterative word, so it starts with a W as well. Good guess. Let's ask ma'am. She's raised her hand. I'll come to you after that. Yes.
Is it the Wood Wide Web?
Let's have a look at the answer slide. That is indeed what we were seeking. Very, very well done. Slightly tough question for the teams on stage, but that's okay. Let's give ma'am a round of applause and, of course, a prize as well for getting that right. So this is Wood Wide Web is what we were seeking. And with that, we go to team 3. Bookywars, you guys ready? Plus 10, no negative marking. Have a look at the video and then take a guess. Question number 3 for team number 3 appearing on their screen now. Have a look.
Hello, my name is Martin Stewart. I hope you've enjoyed reading Bridget van der Puff and the Baked Escape for the 2025 NLF Reading Challenge. Here is my question. In Mr. van der Puff's bake shop, in the flat above in his home, Bridget sleeps in a room of bed with Mrs. McGlover's sentient covers. These are bedclothes with a mind of their own, and they are incredibly comfy. It's very difficult to get out of a bed with Mrs. McGlover's sentient covers. And the question is, what are the magic words that Bridget needs to say to be able to get out from their all too comfortable grasp?
Let's have a look at the text as well, just one sec, if that's okay, so that everybody in the audience also is clued in. So basically, there's a flat above Ms. van der Puff's bake shop. Now there are these sentient covers, and for you to get out of these sentient covers, you need to give us the magic words. So what are the magic words, Team Bookywars?
I need to go to the bathroom.
Let's look at the answer slide. They said it for the answer, not really, but there is a fantastic answer from Team Bookywars. I have to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom, as long as you indicated what we were seeking. Round of applause for Team Bookywars, guys. Very, very well done. Plus 10 to them as well. Piling up the points at this point in time. So Team JNS Rapid Readers from Mumbai. The last question of this round, directly from the author, a new round we've introduced this time around. Let's have a look at the video, and then we'll go to the question text. Have a look.
Hi everyone, I'm Menaka Raman, and I hope you had a lot of fun reading How to Win an Election, a Most Unreliable Guide for the 2025 NLF Reading Challenge. Here's your question from the book. When Vamsi Sir accuses Sachin of being responsible for all the disruptive incidents in the election campaign, he presents evidence linking Sachin to each of them. For example, the pouch with the marker used to write the anti-Michelle rap song conveniently has Sachin's name on it. What ties Sachin to the Bengal monitor lizard?
So let's have a look at the question text. So effectively, Sachin is accused of being responsible for a lot of disruptive, not me by the way, just the character in the book, disruptive incidents like election campaigns, in the election campaign, etc. So there's a pouch with a marker used to write the anti-Michelle rap song, conveniently, which has Sachin's name. So what ties Sachin to the Bengal monitor lizard? I'm looking for a specific set of keywords. Jamna Bhai, what is your guess?
His aunt works at a zoo.
And her aunt's name is? His aunt's name is? That doesn't matter. I'll still give it to you. That is a fantastic answer. This is his aunt Veena, who is actually a herpetologist who studies monitor lizards. So the aunt is the connection that we were seeking. Plus 10 yet again to rapid readers. Everybody, very, very well done to them. Fantastic answer. And with that, we are done with the second round of the quiz as well. And I think we are very, very good on time. So one more audience question for all of you guys here, appearing on your screen now. Here it is. So the world's most prestigious award for children's literature is named after a 19th century Danish author who is best known for writing fairy tales. Eiko Kodono, the author of Kiki's Delivery Service, won this award in 2018. What is the name of the author or the award? I can see Archana's raised her hand. I will come to you, Archana, if nobody else, because I've already asked you if that's okay. Let's ask her. She's the only other person who's raised her hand. So the mic's coming to you. If you can introduce yourself and tell us what you think the answer is.
I study at Neve. I'm in 8th grade. I think it's Hans Andersen.
Let's have a look at the answer slide. Absolutely the right answer. Hans Christian Andersen, the incredible personality behind a variety of fairy tales that we have, has an award named after him as well. Arguably the most prestigious award that you have for children's literature. With that, let's have a look at scores, ladies and gentlemen. 2 rounds of quizzing are done. And with that, the leaderboard is as follows on your screen. Have a look. So 2 rounds done, 3 more rounds left. Lots more quizzing and interesting activities that we have lined up. And this is the scores at this point in time. We've got reading racers at 20 guys. Ladies, round of applause for them. Hashtag bookworms at 40. Team Bookawars at 60. And rapid readers at 90, ladies and gentlemen. This is the state of things at this point in time. Let's go ahead and go back to the question slides. And guys, this round, ladies and gentlemen, is the crossword round that we have. So first and foremost here, you need to relax. There's no negative marking, number one. There's no passing either. There are dedicated questions that will come to you, of course. And then you can go ahead and answer this, all right? So there's 2 crosswords that we have that we've divided, which have 4 clues or questions. Now we're going to have one of my friends of the Neve Literature Festival that's going to come to you and that's going to ask you to pick a chit. So that's how we're going to decide which team is going to go and attempt first, second, third, and fourth. So go ahead and just pick a chit. We'll figure out who needs. Okay, they've picked one. What have you guys got? Team 4. You've got 1. Okay, so JNS Rapid Readers is the first team to go in this round. Well done. We're going to go in the order of whoever they've. Yeah, so they've got their number 1. They got 1, yes. You can tell us loudly, that's okay. They've got 4. They've got 4. So guys, so Bookie Wars is going to go 4th in this part of the crossword round. So they're going to go 4th. Let's see what it is. Shiv Nadar Faridabad is going to go 2nd. You guys are going to go 2nd, consistent to your placement on stage. There's only 1 left, which basically means you guys are going to go 3rd. Fantastic. All right, so that's the order. So in this round, only for this round, we're going to have rapid readers go number 1. Then we're going to have, which is team number 2, we're going to have reading racers go number 2. We're going to have bookworms go 3. And we're going to have Bookie Wars go number 4. Okay? So this, we're also handing you a guide of sorts just to make it easy for you. The one thing to keep in mind in this round, teams, is you have to get the spelling accurately as well. Okay? Because it is a crossword. Spellings also matter here. So I need you to spell the answer out as you tell me the answer. Teams, is that clear to all of you? You need to spell the answer as you give it out to me. Again, there's no negative marking at all. So it's a plus 10 for a right answer. Got it. So guys, the questions, of course, will appear on your screen. And when the questions appear, you can flip the sheet. I'll let you know when to do that. But it's a plus 10 for a right answer. And in case you happen to incorrectly spell it, which I don't think is going to happen, it's a plus 5. All right? So that's how it works. So in that case, we're going to start with team number rapid readers. You guys got number 1, right? So this is, you can turn over the sheet for your benefit. All right? Everybody else also can, so that you see what's likely to come. So here is the question appearing on your screen. Have a look. Guys, have a look. Team 4, this is the first clue on your screen now. So it's 1 down. In The Scent of Roses, Sajad's classmate, Aisha, used to love doing impressions of characters from Hindi movies, especially Gabbar Singh from the movie Dash. I need you to fill in the blank. Just tell me 1 down. What is 1 down, Jamna Bhai? And it's a 6-letter. Audiences, you might know the answer, but hold on the answers to yourselves just for the benefit of the teams here. So I just need you to tell me, Team Jamna Bhai, what is the 6-letter answer we're seeking? Which is this movie in question? Which fills up 1 down. On the mic, please. There's no passing in this round, though. Yes. Look at me, please. Yes. You can take a guess. Otherwise, I will pass and go to my friends in the audience. Okay. Do you have a guess? You want to take a guess one last time? 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Bhuti.
Okay, all right, that's the answer they're going for. So we're not going to go and pass for this round. We're going to go to our friends in the audience. I think all the adults here, I would imagine, know the answer to this question. I think everybody please shout the answer out, Toti. This is Sholay, ladies and gentlemen. Gabbar Singh clearly tells you how old we are, if anything else. Right? This is Sholay, Gabbar Singh. That's the name of this movie, guys. Go watch this movie. It is an iconic Hindi film that you have from back in the day with the yesteryear legends from Amitabh Bachchan to Dharmendra and the like. That, of course, is Amjad Khan playing the role of Gabbar Singh. So we just need you to fill in Sholay. So now, with that said, team number 2, the second team is going to be reading racer, Shiv Nadar. That's the team that's going to go for it. So Shiv Nadar, Faridabad, let's have your second question or second clue number 2 on your screen now. So this is 2 down, by the way. 2 down. You've got 4 letters. So in Kiki's delivery service, every witch has a black cat as a companion. Kiki's black cat is called Gigi. What was her mother Kukiri's cat called? And you need to spell the answer for me as well. Yes.
The mother's cat is called Mimi.
Okay.
And I think the spelling is M-I-M-I.
Okay. Let's have a look at the answer slide. It's actually M-E-M-E, but that's okay. We'll give you a +5 regardless. Round of applause for that team, guys. Very, very well done. So Meme is what the cat goes, the name it goes by. So Meme, Mimi, I know in this case, but it's still, since it's a proper noun, we need the specific name. So M-E-M-E is what we're seeking, but that's still well done to you guys. It's a +5. Round of applause for that team, guys. Very, very well done. The next one is going to go to team 3, which is going to be team #bookworms from Bengaluru. Let's have a look at what's on your screen. You can use the guide on your table as well for reference. So question/clue number 3 on your screen now. So 3 is, of course, 3 across, and you've got the 4th letter for your benefit, which is letter E. So according to Miel or Miel from Chronicles of a Lizard Nobody, his name is the French word for dash, 5 letters. What is the answer according to you, team hashtag?
The answer is H-O-N-E-Y, honey.
Fantastic answer. So well said. Honey is indeed that we wanted for this team. Very, very well done. That's a +10 to them. Fantastic answer from One World, Bengaluru. Fantastic job. And with that, we go to the last question of this crossword that we have. We have another crossword that we'll do as well. So there's only one left. Let's look at it. Let's go to the next question. This is, of course, for Team Book Awards, which is clue number 4, appearing on your screen now. Okay, so this is 4 across. Illustrator of the book Dream Hunters, Frederica Dash. Her surname is in question. You've got the 3rd letter E and the 6th letter A. What is the answer?
F-R-E-N-N-A, Frenna.
Fantastic answer. Such an incredible answer, Team 3. Team Book Awards also get themselves a +10. That's Frenna. Very well spelt as well. That's what we wanted. So with that, we are done with this segment of a crossword. So guys, applause for all of these teams. So very well done by all of them. I'm going to take a quick water break. And we're going to draw chits again, so that, again, why do we do this? We do this so that there is a complete randomness that's introduced. There is no specific, hey, this question this team got an easy question because they sat in 1, 2, 3, 4. They choose what question in which order they get it in. So that's why we're doing this, just to make sure it's more fair than what can be possible. So let's see what you've got. So team Rapid Readers, what's the chit you've got?
2.
You guys have got number 2 this time. All right, fantastic. Book Awards?
We got 3.
You got 3, all right. What have you got, reading racers? You got team number 1. Fantastic. All right. And hashtag is obviously 4, right? So we've got reading racers at 1. Who's 2 here? Sorry. Rapid readers at 2. Book Awards at 3. And bookworms at 4. So that sheet, of course, is a reference guide for you so that you can go ahead and figure out the spellings while we have the question appear for you as well. So this is arguably the most exciting thing for us at the drawing board when we're thinking of what to do for a quiz before it starts is to think of the innovative rounds we can come up with. So it's a lot of fun for our team. And credit, of course, I must place to Zainab from the Neev Literature Festival team. Can we have a round of applause for Zainab here? And the team at the back as well. There's Komal, Durga, all at the back from Team Kushala. They do all of the magic. I'm just the person who comes in the front and puts up a show. They do the work. Right, that said, we have our order that's scheduled up here right now. So Reading Racers is team number 1. So this is clue/question number 1 for Reading Racers appearing on your screen now. So this is 1 down. You can turn the paper as well. The Dash were a group of people trying to bring the dead lands back to life in Foxlight. It's a 7-letter answer. 1 down. You can use the guide to fill it up as well. All right, so 7 letters, 1 down. This is for Reading Racers, of course. Guys, you just need to tell us what this one word is. That's all you need to tell us. Shiv Nadar, you can think about just that one question. You don't have to worry about the other clues. Okay. Other teams as well, you don't have to worry about the other ones till it comes to you. Unless, of course, you have letters that are revealed to you. All right, Shiv Nadar, do you want to take? Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds. All right, let me just make sure I have it as well at my end. Okay. Hold on. Just 1 sec. I need to make sure I'm also on the right. Yeah. So we're looking for 1 down. You can tell us the spelling and then tell us the word. Yes, 1 down. So it's a 7-letter answer we're seeking. 1 down is that what you see on the left going all the way downwards. That's what we want you to identify. Go ahead and tell us, Shiv Nadar. Yeah, tell us. Guys, take a guess. There's no negative marking. Go for it. Don't worry about it at all. Yes. Okay, I'll need you to give me an answer. Otherwise, I will pass you guys. Yeah. Okay, in a couple of seconds, guys. Okay.
Is it foreigners? Foreigners.
Foreigners is what they're guessing. Hard luck to you, Team Reading Racers. There's no passing in this round, so you guys can relax. So we're going to go ahead and ask our friends in the audience. So hard luck to you, Reading Racers. No problem at all. So who have I not asked at all? I've not asked ma'am. Yes, ma'am, can we have the mic come to her if that's okay? Ma'am, if you could use the mic, introduce yourself and tell us what you think the answer is.
Hi, my name is Sakshi. Wilders.
Wilders is absolutely the right answer. Wilders. So Wilders is what we were seeking. Hard luck to Reading Racers. But round of applause for ma'am for getting that answer right. Very well done. So team number 2 on stage. Who was team number 2? I think it was you guys, JNS, Rapid Readers. So you guys ready? Yes. Okay, all right. Take a deep breath, relax. Clue/question number 2 appearing on your screen now. Okay, so this is 2 down. Let me read the question. In Chai Jinx, Professor Ackelhack's family brew is a dash recipe. It's 6 letters. 2 down. What is your guess?
Bhoota. Bhoota.
Let's look at the answer slide. That is the right answer. So well done. They in fact gave that as an answer for a previous question, if I'm not wrong. And it's come right the second time around. Round of applause for Team 4, ladies and gentlemen, Rapid Readers. So Bhoota, the Bhoota brew as it's referred to as in the book is what we were seeking. With that, Team 3, I think it's you guys, Book Awards. You guys are Team 3, yes? All right. One Up Library, clue/question number 3 appearing on the screen now. In The Falling Boy, Joff comes to know that the meaning of the word Renaissance is dash. I'm looking for the specific answer that fits this blank. There could be other interpretations, but I'm looking for what fills this blank here. And the second letter is revealed to be E for you. So it's a 7-letter answer. What is the meaning of the word Renaissance as per The Falling Boy, the book where Joff comes to be known as such? Yes, Book Awards, what is your guess? So again, spell it out for me and give us the answer. Friends in the audience, if you could just keep the volume a little low so that it doesn't disturb the teams on stage. Yes, guys, what do you guys think? One Up Library, go for it.
I think it's New Life, Newlife.
That's a great guess. I can see why you've thought so. And when you see the answer, you might feel a little miffed as well. Let's ask our friends in the audience. Sir, you've raised your hand before anybody else. There's a mic coming to you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Shubho.
Hi, Shubho.
And it's Rebirth.
Let's have a look at the answer slide. That is the right answer. Rebirth is what we were seeking. I'm sorry, One Up. I know New Life is not too inconsistent, but we needed the specific answer because these are the exact words and this is a crossword after all. So round of applause for Mr. Shubho. That is the right answer. Well done. Rebirth is what we are seeking. We're just left with one at this point in time, so which is clue/question number 4 for hashtag. The only one that's left for you guys. So here's the question appearing on your screen. It almost seems like this team knows the answer before I've shown the question. That's how good they are. Let's look at the question. Here it is. ETA's Google Translate app literally translates to dash to Hombre Aranya in ETA Invincible. 9 letters. What is the answer?
SPIDERMAN, Spider-Man.
Fantastic answer. So well done. I have a very strong and sneaking suspicion that they did not need the question at all. They figured it out regardless. That is how incredible these teams are. Round of applause for team hashtag Bookworms, guys. Very, very well done. And with that, we close the third round of the quiz. And I think we are very good on time as well. That said, audience question exclusively for all of you here. Here it is on your screen now. So in the book, How to Win an Election by Menaka Raman, one of the many anonymous pranks played over the school election season is directed at the principal, Aaron D'Souza. An audition video that he taped for superstar singer India is played at a school assembly. Which song famously used in the movie Titanic did Aaron sir sing in his audition tape? I can see she's raised her hand very, very excitedly for all of us. So if you could just use the mic, introduce yourself and tell us what you think the answer is.
My name is Anouk and I think the answer is My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
Anouk says that this is My Heart Will Go On. Let's have a look at the answer slide by Celine Dion. Absolutely the right answer. So well done. Round of applause for her. So we'll play this while we tabulate the scores, right? That's a round of applause for her and for these teams as well, guys. So well done. 3 rounds done. We're done with more than 50% of the quiz. We just have 2 rounds left. And let's have a look at the scores now that we have scores tabulated as well. Let's have a look at how our teams are faring at the end of 3 rounds of quizzing. And this is proceedings at this point in time. Reading Racers is at 25. Hashtag Bookworms is at 60. Team Bookawars is at 70. And Rapid Readers has hit a century at 100 points at this point in time. Round of applause for all of these teams. Now guys, this next round that we have is, let's go back to the question slide and see what we have. Alright, so this round guys, let's have a look at the rules. So this is a taboo round that we've introduced for the first time this time around. So this is going to go anti-clockwise, meaning we're going to start with you guys, Jamna Bai. So we'll start with you, then we'll go to 3, 4 and 2. We're just going to make sure that it's going in a consistent order. So how it works is very simple. The first thing all of you need to do is nominate one person who's going to be doing the question asking amongst you guys. Meaning, you guys are going to have access to the taboo words and the personality, and you'll have to help your team members identify it. Let me clarify, just one sec. So this round is exclusively focused on personalities, okay? These are personalities that are featured in the books in the reading challenge. Now what you need to do is, let's take an example of Jamna Bai here. So in this case, say one of you decides to be the person who's going to help your team guess it. You'll come here with me, not right now. I'll show you the card. You'll have to hold the mic and you'll hold the card as well. You'll have to go ahead and follow a set of instructions. Let's look at the instruction slide. Here it is. So once you nominate someone who's going to do it, the team member you must guess the personality without using the taboo words or any part or derivative of them. More importantly, only the word or phrase needs to be used, no complete sentences, okay? So you have to use just words or phrases, no complete sentences, no gestures, no spelling out or writing aloud, only verbal cues are what you need to provide. And if a taboo word is used, we will close that question, the answer will be closed, and we'll ask our friends in the audience to guess, okay? So we'll do an example question for this round. So can I invite a member of the audience who wants to do this for us? Yes, why don't you join us here? She raised her hand before anybody else. So she's going to do a sample of sorts for us. All right, so let's look at an example. So that's the card for you, okay? So imagine the team that you have is the audience for you here. So this is the personality, okay? And you'll have to say words without using these taboo words to make sure that they can guess this personality, right? I have this for me as well. So can we have a mic possibly given to her if there's an extra mic that we can give to her? So that you can hear her as well. So of course, all of this happens in a timer. By the way, we have a timer of 60 seconds. So we'll start the timer now, okay? Go ahead.
Night Diary.
So it's a real life personality. So what is your first guess that you said? You said Night Diary. Okay, anything else that you want to say? Okay, go on. Not quite. If it is, I'll tell you that's right. That's not the case. Something else? Not Jinnah, no. 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 That was the answer. The answer was Mahatma Gandhi. And the words that she was not supposed to use was Mahatma, or Father of the Nation, Independence Movement, Partition, Amil and the After, and Veera Hiranand. Can we have a round of applause for her for being a great sport, for participating with us. Thank you so much. We'll have the mic given to you. This is for you. So we can keep this. For you guys. Yeah. All right. So you guys got a sense of how this works. So of course, you're not going to worry about the audience. You're just going to focus on the two people here. So who's going to be the person who's going to be doing the figuring out? Okay, that's you. Fantastic. Come ahead. So I'm going to give you a card. Of course, you can stand here, right? You can stand right here so that you can see just your team members. You guys have good eyesight with each other. You can see each other. Fantastic. So you have 60 seconds, and you need to identify the personality without using the taboo words. Does that work? Okay. Can I have the cards? Yes. Okay. So are you ready? Yes. Can we start, guys? Teams, can we start? Fantastic. All right. So this is for you. 60 seconds starts now.
Okay, so he goes to China.
Phrases, not sent. Go ahead, yes.
He goes to China and then he finds out about the country. There's a swimming pool game based on him.
Not okay. Proceed, go on. That is the right answer. So well done. This is Marco Polo. Fantastic done. Guys, round of applause for this team. Not easy what we have going here. So this is Marco Polo that we wanted. And the words, of course, or phrases that we did not want them to use was the following boy, David Armand, Italian/Italy, explorer, Venice diplomat. They said travel, going to a country, said all the right things, said China, which is amazing. So well done to team number 4, plus 10 on this attempt. Let's go to you guys. Who wants to go ahead and be the person helping them? Yes, fantastic. Why don't you come here? All right. So you have a mic for yourself. Can we give her a mic? Where's the mic that we had? Okay, she has a mic here. Fantastic. We have the cards here. All right. Fantastic. Here it is. Why don't you stand here? Can you see your team clearly? You guys can see her? Fantastic. This is for you guys. Here it is. Time starts now.
He's the uncle of Zai Whittaker.
Not quite, not quite. There's a slight variation in his name. That is the right answer. So well done. They said Salim Mahmood and then went for Salim Ali. Let's go back there. You can give the mic. That's a fantastic answer. Actually, let's give them a mic as well so that the team can also answer. So this is Salim Ali. Round of applause for this team, guys. So well done. They got themselves a plus 10. So we will then do team 3 reading racers. So Salim Ali, of course, those are the various terms, the Birdman of India that we were seeking. So this, of course, is going to be the next team. So who's going to be the person who's going to figure this out? Fantastic. You can come here. This is a mic for you guys. Okay? All right. Are you guys ready, guys?
Yep.
All right. So this is for you. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah? Your time starts now. Come back. Yes.
Okay, he has won the football world. No, sorry.
Go ahead. Tell us. Yes.
He has won the World Cup.
What is the double word that he used? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I kind of missed that. So this was football that he used. He said Football World Cup, if I'm not wrong. Hard luck. Let's ask our friends in the audience who this is. Yes. Not Pele. Who wants to go ahead? Who else? Yes. Messi is the answer. This is Lionel Messi. So from Kick It Ruku that you have, Sanjana Ganesh, Argentina, football, GOAT or greatest of all time, and Barcelona. You said Football World Cup, so I'm so sorry about that, but that's okay. No problem. Lot more points coming your way. And the last thing that we have in this round. So who wants to go for this one? Why don't you come here? All right, why don't you stand here? This is for you. Yeah? Are you guys ready? Fantastic. Okay. Audience, you guys need to just keep the volume a little low. Yes, I can do that. All right. So here it is. 60 seconds starts now.
Samuel Clemens.
Wow, that is incredible, guys. This team, let's look at what we had on screen. They guessed the actual real name of Mark Twain. They said Samuel Clemens, which is something I did not anticipate at all. They had all these tough things like Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, American author, Kate DiCamillo, and Ferris. Mark Twain gets them a +10. Round of applause for this team, guys. So well done. That is indeed the right answer. And let's have that extra mic. You guys are giving the mic back as well. Fantastic. All right, so well done, guys. It's a new round we tried this time around. I think the teams had a lot of fun. Round of applause for these guys. Did you guys have a good time in the audience as well? Fantastic. All right, let's do an audience question yet again for you guys. And this is what we have for you in the audience. Here it is. So in the popular manga series Bungo Stray Dogs, the character Maku Toen has an ability/power that takes the form of 2 dolls. These dolls are named after American author's 2 most iconic characters. What are these dolls called? And the way for you to figure out this question is that character Maku Toen, just say it out repeatedly and it'll sound like someone. Okay, sir has it. Mark Twain. So what are the 2 dolls called, sir? Tom and Huck. Let's look at the answer slide. Absolutely the right answer. Very well done. Round of applause for him yet again. He's on the answers with that one. So Huck Finn, of course, and Tom Sawyer. And Mark Twain, of course, gets his name from the OG Mark Twain. As that team rightly pointed out, Samuel Clemens. Very, very well done, guys. Such an incredible affair so far. Can we have a round of applause for all of these teams? 4 rounds done. The last round left in this quiz. And these are the scores that we have. All right, let's look at the scores. Here it is, everybody. The scores at the end of 4 rounds of quizzing, ladies and gentlemen. Reading Racers at 25, hashtag Bookworms at 70, Team Bookawars at 80, Rapid Readers at 110, ladies and gentlemen. This is the scores that we have at the end of 4 rounds of quizzing. That said, let's go back to the question deck. So guys, the last round of this quiz. First, let me establish, all 4 of you teams are winners already to make it to the grand finale. So round of applause for all of these teams. It's no mean feat. From 600 teams to make it to the top 4 is incredible. All of you teams are getting books as prizes. So there's no change in that really. All of you already have won. Just to get a sense of which team places first, second, and third, and fourth is why we do this quiz today. So we have the last round of today's quiz, and this is the OG, the classic rapid fire round that we have. So everything's going to be on the buzzer for this round. So it can get a little quick, can get a little dramatic, but that's the point of this round. Yeah, so that's what this is. So we'll test the buzzers. Hold on. So let's go to the next slide, see what we have. So guys, these are the rules of the round. Yeah, so we've got 8 questions. So 8 questions on the buzzer. So it's open to all the teams. And of course, let me clarify here one very specific instruction, guys. So if you've hit the buzzer, even before I've read the question text, it means that you're indicating to me that you know the answer. So as a result, you need to give me the answer, okay? So if you hit the buzzer while I'm reading the question, or even before the question has been completely read by me, I need you to give me an answer immediately. Does that work? And in case you get it wrong, we have a -5 if you get it wrong. And there's only 1 attempt per question, meaning if one team hits the buzzer, for whatever reason they get it wrong, the question closes, we'll then go to our friends in the audience for the answer. All right? That's how it works. So let's test our buzzer. Round of applause for all of these teams, guys, yet again. It's amazing to see all of you cheering for your teams here. Really appreciate the support. So let's test your buzzers. So let me also clarify, guys, some ground rules in terms of the buzzers. Okay? So the buzzer is what you refer to as a circuit breaker buzzer, which basically means just because you hit the buzzer doesn't mean that you're the only team who's hit the buzzer. It lights up. So whichever team has hit the buzzer and I clarify that they've hit the buzzer right, that's the team that needs to give the answer. Number 1. Number 2, the harder you hit the buzzer doesn't mean it's going to light up faster. So just be a little gentle on the buzzers. Make sure you're firm while you hit the buzzer. It will light up. But we'll test everybody's buzzer just for your own benefit. So team 1 from Bookworms, can you hit the buzzer, please? Fantastic. Do you hear the sound? There's a light that's come up in the front as well, so I can see it. Well done. Let's reset. Okay. Team 2, reading racers, hit the buzzer, please. Fantastic. It's lit up. All clear. Working. Buzzer's been reset. Team 3, Bookivores. Fantastic. The buzzer's lit up as well. Let's reset. And Team 4, rapid readers. Go for it. Fantastic. All right. So guys, your buzzers are working. The light is for me to see who's hit the buzzer first. Again, I need to clarify this, guys. If you hit the buzzer, don't shout the answer out automatically. Let me clarify which team needs to answer. Is that okay? Let's go to the next slide. And let's close the music as well. Next slide. All right. Are you guys ready? All right. So we have an example question. Okay, this of course is not on the buzzers for you guys in the audience. So before we wish our teams the best of luck, one last audience question before the last one. We have a lot more after that as well. Here is the audience question appearing on your screen now. Hans Christian Andersen's story, The Snow Queen, provided the inspiration for which 2013 Disney film? I don't think I've asked too many people in that round. Let me ask her, yes. If we can have her take a guess. Yes, your name, which school you study in, what do you think the answer is?
I'm Nikita and I study in BVM school and I think the answer is Frozen.
Absolutely right. Frozen is indeed the right answer. So Nikita is indeed right. This is Frozen. That's the answer that we were seeking. Very, very well done. So let's go on to the next slide. So guys, now is the last round of the quiz. Okay? One of you or all of you can keep your hands on the buzzer. Please don't hit the buzzer accidentally. That means that you might need to give me an answer. If you've hit the buzzer before the question is revealed, I will reset it, but please don't do it again. If you did it, I will have to give you a negative, right? Let's not do anything of that nature. Take a deep breath, right? Relax. And can we have a huge round of applause for these teams? Just incredible how well they've performed so far, okay? The question appears on your screen. The moment you hit the buzzer, you are telling me that you know the answer, so please share the answer at that point in time, okay? Buzzers have been set. Everything is ready. Question number 1, appearing on your screen now. As we discovered during one of the author interaction sessions, okay, Team 4 has gone for it. Rapid readers.
Yorick Goldwick.
Fantastic answer. That is the right answer. Yorick Goldwick, who also is the author of Movies Showing Nowhere, which is also a book in the 30 books that we have. He is going to be translating the series. That's in fact a book in the reading list that we have. So Yorick Goldwick gets Team 4 or Rapid Readers a +10 on that. One other instruction, guys, the mic, you can keep the mic down because you might be hitting the mic accidentally and that might disturb you as well. So keep the mic down. Only when you hit the buzzer, you need to take the mic up. So you can keep the mic down on the table away from you guys. Okay, so you guys got a sense of how these questions are. Teams 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 has gotten a +10 already. These are the questions that we have. Well done to them for getting the first question. Buzzers have been reset. Question number 2, appearing on your screen now. Midway through Kick It, Ruku's uncle. Okay, Team 1 has gone for it. Team 1 from Bengaluru, on the mic, please. What does the phrase Periya Ponnu literally mean? Can you tell us quickly, please? Yes, please.
A woman going through puberty?
Women going through puberty. See, that's actually not what I'm seeking. I was looking for a very specific answer.
Elder sister?
Not quite, not quite. Good guesses. I need only one attempt per team. So I'm going to ask my friends in the audience for this question. Who wants to tell? Yes. Can we ask this young man right in the front? He's raised his hand. You can tell me, what does Periya Ponnu literally translate to?
Big girl.
That is the right answer. We needed big girl as the answer. That's what we were seeking. Found in the glossary section of the book as well. So, of course, it's mentioned in the question that she was undergoing menstruation. So, puberty, I wouldn't have been able to give it to you. I needed the very specific answer of big girl. So, unfortunately, it's a -5, but don't worry. A lot more questions you have left. You at least have 6 more questions in this round left. So, it's a -5 scorers, unfortunately, for team number 1. All right, don't worry. You'll recover from this. Take a deep breath. Okay. Question number 3, buzzers have been reset. All right. Question number 3, appearing on your screen now. As a 4-year-old child, Tom Faber, okay, Team Bookivores, I need you to give me 2 blanks. What are the 2 blanks? On the mic, please, on the mic.
The first blank is the peaks and the pollicles. The second is the song of the jellicles.
That is the right answer. So well done. Jellicles and pollicles is what we wanted. 2 answers, pollicles and jellicles, either exactly is what we wanted. Very well done. Round of applause for Team Book Awards, guys. That's a plus 10 for them. They've gotten the third question in this round. The buzzers have been reset. Keep the mics away, guys. Yeah? Okay? Use the mic only when you hit the buzzer, just so that you don't cause confusion for yourselves. Team 3, if I could request 4, you can keep the mic on the table and use it only when you hit the buzzer, if that's okay. Thank you. Team 2 as well. All right, buzzers have been reset. Guys, we will go through the scores at the end after 6 questions. So before question number 7 and 8, you'll have a look at the scores as well, so that you know where you're standing, where you stand in the finals. Question number 4, buzzers have been reset. Question number 4, appearing on your screen now. When the family reaches Redbud, Ohio, Milan's father lists out signs. Okay, Team 3 has gone for it again. On the mic, please. Why?
Because the word for 4 is C, which sounds the same as the word for death in Mandarin.
Fantastic answer. So beautifully explained. Share or C or 4 sounds similar to the word for death from Mandarin. And that's the answer we were seeking. So 2 answers back to back from Team 1UP Library. Incredible job. Plus 22 questions they've gotten for themselves. Let's reset the buzzer and take a deep breath, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Guys, round of applause for these amazing teams, please. So well done so far. Okay. 3 more questions, right? Rather 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Buzzers have been reset. Question number 5, appearing on your screen now. According to PNK Panikkar, the ghosts... Okay, Team 4 has gone for it on the mic.
Electricity.
Electricity is what Team 4 from Rapid Readers, and they rapidly get it right. That is the right answer. Electricity is what we were seeking. Electricity is the reason this happened. So very well done. That's a plus 10 that we have for team number 4. Another plus 10 that they've gobbled up in this last round. So with that, we have 3 more questions, guys. Friends on stage, you need to look at only one person, that's me, yeah? After that, you can talk to the folks in the audience, just for the course of this quiz, all right? Buzzers have been reset. Question number 6, appearing on your screen now. Owl-headed Amos asks DeRossi, okay, Team 3 has gone for it, what is this special day?
Midsummer's Eve.
Fantastic answer, so incredible. Before I could even finish the first 3 words in the question, Midsummer's Eve is what they say from M.T. Anderson's Elf Dog and the Old Hound. So that is what we have. So we'll take a quick pause now, a breather, because it's very tense, guys, all right, for these finalists. So a round of applause for these teams here. So well done. Let's have a look at the scores. I'm going to take a quick water break as well and see how our teams are faring. Just 2 more questions left in this round and in the quiz, the grand finale of the reading challenge here at the Neve Literature Festival. This is the state of affairs. Reading Racers at 25, hashtag Bookworms at 65, Book Awards at 110, ladies and gentlemen, and Rapid Readers at 130. 2 questions left, that's the deficit. All right, breathe easy, all of you. All right, great. So before, of course, we jump on to the last 2 questions, I want to take this opportunity to first and foremost really place on record the incredible support that we've got from the Neve team to put together such an initiative where the singular goal is just reading and reading for the sake of reading and learning. Can we have a huge round of applause for Neve, guys? It's very rare where you come across a competition which is created and shortlisted in this format. We, of course, at Q-Shala have a lovely time being part of this to contribute to this small endeavor to make sure children across the world are reading more books. And, of course, a big tribute to my team at Q-Shala as well. I'd like to play some. That's Gauri right there. She's doing all the social media. There's Komal and Durga right at the back. We've got Sahana as well she's a Q-Shala, young Q-Shala intern that we have as well. So all of this from our team who's making this possible. That said, get down to business here. And buzzers have been reset. All right, you guys ready? All right, guys, take it easy, all right? Deep breaths, relax, teams 3 and 4 especially, all right? Don't get too tensed. Okay, 2 more questions left. Buzzers have been reset. Question number 7, appearing on your screen now. This American translator lives in Tokyo. Okay, Team 2 has gone for it instantly. Team 2 from Reading Racers, Shiv Nadar. What is your answer on the mic, please? If you can use the mic and tell us. Unfortunately, team 2 has hit the buzzer in a whiff, but they don't seem to have the answer. Take a guess, respective, quickly, please.
Identified. So the translator is.
I need an answer quickly, team 2. I'm so sorry. Okay. Do you have a guess? Otherwise, I will pass.
Yuval Lasset.
Not quite. That's a good guess, but not the answer that I have. Friends in the audience, this is going to pass to you guys. We've got one more question left in the quiz. But in the audience, who is the translator in question is what we'd like. Anybody here? A tough question, but this is ultimately what we need to differentiate the teams. Anybody here has an answer? Doesn't seem to be the case. Let's have a look at the answer slide. This, of course, is Emily Balistrieri, who is the person who translated Kiki's delivery service from Japanese to English of course, Aiko Kodono's book. That said, we've got one more question left. As things stand, I think we have a winner of the quiz, right? But that said, we don't know. Anything can really happen. Let's have a look. Let's go to the next slide. Next slide, please. All right. Last question today at the grand finale of the Neve Literature Festival Reading Challenge 2025 to figure out who the winners of the grand finale are likely to be. Last question appearing on your screen now. At the end of Turtle Moon Silver's... Okay, Team 3 has gone for it. What is the answer?
Rainforest Adventures.
Let's look at the answer slide. That is the right answer. This is a Rainforest Adventure. They get themselves just 1 point short to win the grand finale. But that said, I think we have our top 4 clearly established. Before that, let's have an audience question coming your way. Here it is. Here is the question, guys. Let's see what it is. So, Hurun and the Sea of Stories opens with the line, there was once in the saddest of Aleph Bay a sad city, the saddest of cities, a city so ruinously sad that it had forgotten its name. We learned that the city's name at the end of the book, what is the name of the city? What is it fittingly called, rather, is the question. Let's ask ma'am. She's raised her hand, in fact, way earlier as well. Yes?
Kahani.
Kahani. So we're here at the Kahani Munch. And we're here to have an answer appropriately as Kahani about books. That is absolutely the right answer. So well done. The Neve Literature Festival and the Reading Challenge especially is about reading and stories. And we thought it's an appropriate question to end the quiz with a question as Kahani as the answer. Now, before that, we'll go on to the prize distribution ceremony. But before that, let's look at the final leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen right now. This is the state of affairs at the end of 5 rounds of quizzing. Not Reading Racers Day at the office, unfortunately. They finished at 20. Hashtag Bookworms at 65. Book Awards at 120. Rapid Readers at 130. Guys, all these teams are winners. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of these incredible teams? Team 4, Rapid Readers, is ecstatic. They're celebrating. They're having the time of their lives on stage. With that, I think what we will do is quickly jump on to the prize distribution ceremony. Can I invite Kavita ma'am to the stage, please? If Karthika is there as well, Karthika, if you could join us as well. We'd love to do a very quick prize distribution ceremony. All right, I'd like to call on the 4th best team in the entire country at the Neve Literature Festival, Team Reading Racers from Shiv Nagar, Faridabad. Round of applause for this team, everybody. No easy feat to be the best team, the 4 teams here on stage. Guys, big round of applause. Shiv Nagar, Faridabad, the Reading Racers. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. You can go back to your table. Thank you so much. So well done. Not their day today, but they've been a consistent team in the grand finale year on year. An incredible team. Round of applause for them again, please. Shiv Nagar, Faridabad. Not the day in the office today, but they will come back, I assure you. That's what these teams are made of. That's how incredible they are. Calling on the team that's finished on 3rd place today at the grand finale. Ladies and gentlemen, can I call hashtag Bookworms, please, everybody? Guys, round of applause for One World International School, Sarjapur. The third best team here from Sarjapur. One World School, amazing team. Hashtag bookworms. Incredible team. Wonderful answers. Fairly certain they'll come back next year as well. That's how incredible these teams are. Thank you so much, guys. You can head back to your table. And now, of course, the prize for the team finishing as the second best team, the runner-up here at the grand finale of the Neve Literature Festival's Reading Challenge. Can I call Team Book Awards, please? One Up Library. Guys, some applause for this team. Come on, so well done. Guys, huge round of applause. The second best team here at the Neve Literature Festival. Team Book Awards from One Up Library. Thank you so much, guys. You can make it, go back to the table, go down wherever is comfortable. No problem, you can go back to the stage as well. And guys, the moment we've been waiting for, the team that's won the grand finale of the Neve Literature Festival. Team Jamnabai Narsi School from Mumbai Rapid Readers! Amazing performance from the first round onwards. Every round they capitalized, had answers in every round, knew what they were doing. They said they were going to win the quiz before the quiz started, and they've done so as well. They are the winning team today and the deserved winners of the grand finale of the Reading Challenge. Guys, one more round of applause for these guys. The best team here. So consistent. And with that, I think it's only fair that we give a huge round of applause to the Neve team, to Kavita ma'am for this entire Karthika for all of the amazing work that they've done, Zainab for all the lovely work that they've done at the Literature Festival. My name is Sachin and I'm from Team Q Shala. I hope you guys had a lovely time here today. We'll see you next year at the next edition of the grand finale as well. Take care, guys. Have a great Sunday. See you soon. Take care. Bye.